You ever look at your paycheck, see a pretty good number, and then by the end of the month, you're just wondering, where did it all go? It's a super frustrating feeling, and trust me, you are not alone. So let's get into it, because what's happening with our money right now, it's not just bad luck, it's a real paradox. So to kick things off, let's just ground this in reality with a hard number. The median household income in the US is right around $70,000 a year. Now, that's not a small amount of money by any means. For a lot of people, that should feel comfortable, even secure. And yet that feeling of security, it seems to be missing for millions of us. Despite making what looks like a good living on paper, the financial stress is just constant. So what's the deal? Why does it feel like we're all stuck on a financial treadmill that we just can't get off of? Okay, before we go any further, I need you to really let this sink in. This whole situation isn't about you buying too many coffees. The financial game today has completely different rules, and honestly, it's become incredibly difficult to win. You're not failing. The game itself has changed. All right, so let's really break down why this is so hard. We're going to start with the two biggest, most obvious culprits that are squeezing our budgets tighter than ever before. Basically, where you live and how you get around. Let's just rewind a little bit and look at the history here. Back in the 80s, the average family spent about a quarter of their income on housing. Makes sense. Today, that number has ballooned to over a third. And look, that 10% plus difference isn't just a small shift. We're talking about thousands of dollars every year that are just gone, no longer available for saving, investing, or anything else. And that brings us to today. The average rent in the US is now nearly $2,000 a month. Think about that. In a lot of big cities, that means you're handing over 40 cents of every single dollar you earn just to have a roof over your head. And that's before you've paid for groceries, gas, or anything else. Now let's talk about getting around, because this is where it gets even crazier. This chart, it's kind of staggering. The average new car payment is now over $700 a month. Now look at that compared to what the average person is actually managing to save. We're spending way more on our cars, which lose value every day, than we are on building our actual future. So, okay, on top of those two giants, housing and cars, there's this whole other layer of costs. These are what I call the mandatory drains. They're the bills that show up every single month, no matter what, and they leave you with almost zero wiggle room. You can think of it as a triple threat. First up, debt. More than 60% of us are carrying credit card debt from month to month. Second, healthcare. The average employee's share of health insurance premiums is almost $8,000 a year, and that's before you even use it. And third, you've got this rising tide of all the other insurance, car, home, life. It just keeps adding up. And that debt piece, let's put a number on it. The average American who has credit card debt owes $6,200. With the interest rates we're seeing today, that's not just a loan. It's a constant, relentless leak in your monthly cash flow. Okay, so we've covered the big, obvious expenses that everyone complains about. But what if I told you that the single biggest leak in most people's budgets isn't their rent or their car payment? It's something much quieter and way more sneaky. I want you to meet the silent killer, lifestyle creep. The idea is so simple, and that's what makes it dangerous. You get a raise, so you start spending just a little more. A nicer dinner out here, another streaming subscription there. Before you know it, all that financial breathing room you thought you had has just vanished. And the crazy thing is, it hides in plain sight. It's that collection of subscriptions you signed up for and forgot about. It's ordering food delivery a few extra times a month because you're tired. It's how easy it is to just one-click buy something online. It's even that subtle pressure to keep up with what your friends are doing. Each one feels like a tiny little drop, but all together they create a flood. So what's the actual damage here? Well, estimates show that for the average person, this lifestyle creep quietly drains somewhere between $400 and $600 from their budget every single month. That's a car payment. That's a massive investment into your retirement. And for most of us, it just disappears. So look, after hearing all that, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. I get it, but here's the good news. Just understanding how the game is played is the first huge step to winning it. So let's pivot from the problem to the solution, because there is a simple blueprint for taking back control. Here is your game plan, a simple monthly audit. First, just track everything so you can catch all those little recurring charges. Then give every dollar a category so you can see where your money is actually going. That's how you'll find your personal silent killers. And then, And this is the most important part. You take the money you found and you automate it. Send it straight to your savings or to pay down debt before you can even touch it. And hey, you don't have to reinvent the wheel here. There are two really great popular systems. The 50-30-20 rule is a super simple guideline for your income. Or if you want to be more hands-on, there's zero-based budgeting, where you literally give every single dollar a job to do. Just find the one that clicks for you. And let me be really, really clear about this. This is not about cutting your budget to the bone and never having fun again. The goal here isn't deprivation. It's just awareness. Finding even one or two of those silent killers and consistently rerouting that money, it will have a massive compounding effect on your future. You've heard it before, but it's true. It's the small hinges that swing the biggest doors. So I'll just leave you with this one question. Forget about trying to overhaul your entire financial life overnight. That's too much. Just think about this week. What is one small, silent leak you can plug? One subscription you can cancel? One habit you can change? Because taking back control starts right there with that one single decision.